Hello everyone. I will test your microphone. Assalamualaikum Pak Salahuddin. Can you hear my voice?
Okay, clear.
Okay. Miss Via, who are you? Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Is my voice clear too?
Yes, Miss. Miss Ninik. Hello.
Good evening, Ibu.
Yeah, your voice is clear. Okay. Pak Salahuddin, you can start now.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening, esteemed guests, colleagues, and fellow educators from across West Java and Indonesia. I hope this evening finds you well and in good spirits. And it was the greatest pleasure that I welcome you all to today's webinar, jointly organized by the West Java TOT Jabar in collaboration with IGI Kota Bogor and supported by Stekom University and Perkumpulan Entrepreneur Indonesia Cerdas. Our topic today is particularly relevant in our current educational landscape, strategies to counter false information in a modern classroom. And before we delve into the discussion, let's set the tone for this enlightening evening by reciting Al-Basmalah. And with heart filled with gratitude and mind open to learning, let us now stand united in the spirit of patriotism as we listen to inspiring strains of our national anthem, Indonesia Raya, and Stekom University profile.
Universitas Sains dan Teknologi Computers Stekom punya modal besar berupa ide-ide baru yang dapat direalisasikan dalam menjalankan industri kreatif.
Bagi semua mahasiswa Universitas Stekom harus memiliki skill dan kompetensi untuk bisa produktif dan bersaing di tingkat global.
Universitas Sains dan Teknologi Komputer dapat dimanfaatkan sebesar-besarnya bagi generasi muda untuk memperoleh kesempatan memasuki dunia kerja, berkarya, dan berinovasi untuk pembangunan, terutama di sektor ekonomi.
Universitas Stekom memegang peranan yang sangat penting dalam pengembangan aspek kewirausahaan, khususnya untuk UMKM masa depan yang berbasis pada kreativitas dan inovasi teknologi.
Universitas Sains dan Teknologi Komputer Semarang berani mengambil peluang dan berinovasi dalam mengembangkan kewirausahaan dan perdagangan digital di tanah air.
Universitas Sains dan Teknologi Komputer mampu melahirkan lulusan yang memiliki kompetensi yang dibutuhkan dunia kerja hari ini, sehingga lulusan kampus dapat langsung diserap dunia kerja.
Universitas Sains dan Teknologi Komputer atau Universitas Tekkom merupakan salah satu perguruan tinggi terkemuka di Jawa Tengah yang berpusat di Semarang. Berdiri lebih dari 37 tahun dan memiliki 8 kampus cabang dan 1 gedung pusat karir yang tersebar di berbagai kota di Jawa Tengah.
Tunggu. Kayaknya kita langsung aja deh ngeliatin fasilitas yang ada di Universitas Tekkom ini.
Yuk, ikutin kita.
Ayo.
Sambil bekerja atau bekerja sambil kuliah merupakan kebanggaan bagi 6.000 lebih mahasiswa aktif Universitas Tekkom. Sebuah prestasi yang selalu meningkat dan terbukti. 90% mahasiswa Universitas Tekkom sudah memperoleh pekerjaan dan sukses di dunia kerja dan wirausaha sebelum diwisuda. Universitas Tekkom juga memiliki kerjasama eksklusif dengan toploker.com, platform pencari kerja yang mendapat penghargaan juara 1 Startup for Industry 2022 dari Kementerian Perindustrian. Universitas Tekkom juga aktif bekerja sama secara internasional dan berteman baik dengan berbagai universitas terkenal mancanegara. Berikut adalah lokasi kampus Universitas Tekkom yang tersebar di Jawa Tengah.
Ojo mek kerja, ojo mek kuliah digabung ya. Kerja sambil kuliah sambil kerja. Ngono ini. Universitas Tekkom. Universitas Tekkom kuliahnya menyenangkan.
Okay, tonight's webinar that by strategies to counter false information in modern classroom. We are honored to have with us Miss Nini Budiastuti from IKI Kota Bogor, who will be our speaker today, bringing her insight and expertise on this crucial subject. And our session will be moderated by Miss Sri Octavia, also from IKI Kota Bogor. Now, without further ado, let's give a warm virtual welcome to our moderator, Miss Sri Octavia. Hello, Miss Sri.
Hello. Yes, hello, Bapak Salahuddin.
Okay, time is yours.
Oh, okay, thank you so much.
Bapak Salahuddin. Good evening, Bapak and Ibu, my fellow educators from all around West Java, maybe from all around Indonesia. Yeah, it's such a big honor for me for being here to be the moderator of a very interesting webinar talking about Hyperfocus and education strategies for peak performance, which will be brought by our amazing speaker, Mrs. Nini Budiastuti. Yeah, let me introduce myself. Yeah, my name is Octavia, and yeah, my students usually call me as Miss Via, and yeah, I am a part of IGI Kota Bogor. And for your information, like Mr. Salahuddin mentioned before, that this webinar is held in the collaborations of TOT Jawa Barat and also IGI Kota Bogor, and also supported by PTIC and also Stekom University. Okay, before we go to our main agenda today, wait, I want to check how many participants we have right now. Well, it is written 26. Yeah, it's around 26 participants who are joining our webinar. Please let me know from what city you are now, Bapak and Ibu. Maybe you can type it in the chat room. Please let me know where you are right now while you are joining this webinar. Okay, everyone is busy, maybe. No one is typing anything in the chat room. Oh, yes, there's Mrs. Ai from Ciamis. Hello, Mrs. Ai. How about other Bapak and Ibu? Yeah, it's such a pleasure for me for knowing that there are still, all of you, Bapak Ibu, are few educators that right now is willing to improve yourself by joining this webinar, right? For getting information, also knowledge from our speaker about hyperfocus and also education. So yeah, and now we also have Pak Nowo from Tuban. Hello, Pak Nowo. Yeah, and hopefully other educators will join us in our webinar. And yeah, before we give the room to Miss Nini to deliver her speech about the material today, let me introduce you to her. Miss Nini, do you mind if I share your CV to the participants this evening?
You can just read it, I think.
Okay, then, if you don't mind, okay, just let me read it then for you, and correct me if I'm wrong, Miss Nini. Yeah, wait, right. Our speaker today is wait, let me open my file first. Yeah, we have Mrs. Nini Budiastuti as our speaker today, and she is a passionate math teacher with more than 20 years of experience in teaching upper primary and also secondary classes. And she is also a part of IGI Kota Bogor as a member of literature department. And Mrs. Nini is a master in classroom management, curriculum development, and also leadership skills. And before she worked as a math teacher in Bina Tunas Bangsa School, right, Miss? Who teach grade 7 in a math class. And right now, she's working in Sekolah Bogor Raya. Oh, no, she worked in Sekolah Bogor Raya from 2004 until 2022. And yeah, had a lot of experiences there, right? And right now, the organizations that Miss Nini joined is IGI Kota Bogor, who have preparing a lot of events as well as becoming the speaker of various webinars. And Miss Nini also became the ambassador of Duta Kanva Indonesia in 2022. Wow, it's such a good inspirations for us, like Bapak and Ibu. And Miss Nini took her bachelor degree in IPB University in the major of biology, and also took her master degree in education from Universitas Pelita Harapan. And Miss Nini also certified with a lot of certifications. One of them is Cambridge Checkpoint Level 2, and then also certified as a Google Teacher Level 1, and IBDP Mathematics Chat 1, and then also certified as a math teacher from UPI Bandung. And the other experiences that Miss Nini has is becoming a smart book reviewer for mathematics book grade 7 also 10 that was published by Intan Pariwara in 2024 this year, it means this year, and also becomes the private school consultant. Wow, it seems that our speaker today have a lot of experience and we can get a lot of knowledge, right, from Miss Nini. And hello, Miss Nini, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, Ibu.
Okay, good. Okay, without wasting our time, I think, listening to me, speaking too much for opening this webinar. So let's just give the room to Mrs. Nini to deliver us a knowledge about Hyperfocus and also education strategies for peak performances that actually I'm really curious what it is about, Miss Nini. Okay, time is yours, Miss.
Thank you, Ibu Octavia. That was a wonderful opening. Thank you very much. Bapak Ibu, good evening. So as mentioned before by Ibu Octavia, I was teaching in Jakarta and now I returned to my old school, going back to Bogor. And currently I'm teaching in Sekolah Bogor Raya. So this is the topic that we are going to discuss. It is actually taken from the book written by Chris Bailey, Hyperfocus, How to be More Productive in a World of Distraction. So Bapak Ibu, back then, I believe we're from the same era, yeah. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Probably, yeah, I'm a bit older than some of you, and some of you probably a bit older than me, but I believe we just not that far, our age gap. And back then, do you think it is difficult for you to focus on the task, Bapak Ibu? Maybe you can write your answer. Is it difficult to focus on something? Or like this, maybe Bapak Ibu can just raise your hand if you ever try to memorize something by citing it, saying it again and again. Like if your mom asks you to go to warung to buy something and there are 5 or 6 items and you just keep repeating bawang putih, bawang merah, cabe, hijau. I remember when I get to the warung and what I said is bawang hijau, cabe putih, got mixed up. Anyone, Bapak Ibu, who did like what I did just now, what I say? So you have to repeatedly saying it again and again and again. Or is it only me? But we use the same technique ya Bapak Ibu ya. Nah, back then I remember until university life, so that means around 2020s, it was still easy for me to focus myself on reading. Yes, we have cell phone, but not everyone have it. And it's not like something that it is something that you carry, but it's not like something that you try to connect with people through your phone, right? So the phone is just for texting and it was quite pricey back then. So we rarely do that, or just to call only when it is extremely necessary. So it wasn't that difficult for me to finish a book, to read what I want to read, but lately I feel like I have to push myself. I have to really set time and be able to finish reading the book that I really like. Or, okay, a reading book that is not related to work. Okay, yeah. So there's no urgency in finishing it. But sometimes we also have difficulty in finishing our work. Is there anyone here have the same problem like me? Can a participant send their text, Ibu? Bu Amel?
I think
Do
yeah.
you mind to type if you have the same problem as my problem, probably? So that I'm not like, I'm the odd one out here. It's only me. No one have problem. If Bapak Ibu have no problem to focus and you can finish the task on time, I don't think the webinar is important. So we can stop here.
I do have Mrs. Lindit.
So
I
maybe,
had that.
so
Yeah.
we can have a private discussion. Okay.
Yes.
So many time here. Oh yeah, okay. Participant consent. Thank you, Ibu. So yeah, lately it is quite difficult. And then looking at my daughter, how she spent her time with her cell phone, focusing herself on her cell phone, on YouTube, or just scrolling like I don't know how many hours a day. And sometimes it irritates me because why you have to spend a lot of times in front of your cell phone, using your cell phone, or just watching video from YouTube. So now it is getting harder and harder to focus ourselves. So thus, I bought the book with the same title. It's Hyperfocus. Yeah. And I adapt from this book and trying to share so that probably it will inspire you, Bapak Ibu, so that you can also share it with your student. Okay. So let's see. Sorry. So this hyperfocus. Hyperfocus is a state of intense, uninterrupted concentration so that you can finish single task or single activity. Yeah. When you are fully focused, then or probably you ever feel like the time just flies by. You don't know what happened, and suddenly the last time that you see the clock, it was 8 o'clock, and then time suddenly you feel hungry. Oh my god, it's 12 o'clock already. It's time to have your lunch. And then after you eat your lunch, you do your work again, fully immersed in whatever that you do. Then suddenly it's 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock, it's time for you to go home. Yeah, and I believe when that happens, when you work, when you fully focus, you can finish quite a lot of tasks. You can finish whatever that your mind set you to do. Yeah. However, that's not always happen, right? It's not always the case, because sometimes instead of hyperfocus, instead of immerse in that deep concentration, this is what we do. We are in an autopilot mode. Yeah. So have you ever go to a certain room to take or do something only to find out, why am I here? What am I going to take? Yeah. Or sometimes you're looking for something, like me, because I'm wearing glasses. I usually lost my glasses. A lot of time that I lost my glasses, only to find that turns out it's on my head. Or sometimes I even left my glasses because I should be get going somewhere. The time is already pressing, so I just go without my glasses. Try to look here and there, wasting a lot of time to look for that things I couldn't remember. Or yeah, forget where did I put the key, right? Or whether or not I have locked the door, or have I turned off the gas, right? After you cook. Wow, that's the scary part, yeah. Or have you ever procrastinate simply because you know that the deadline is still far? That's usually happen. You know that the deadline is still like 2 weeks from now or 3 weeks from now, and you know that, okay, I'll do it later, until turns out there's no more time. It's suddenly that you have to do it tonight, or you won't be able to finish it, right? Is it only me? Or have you ever have difficulty to shut your brain off although you are tired and really need to sleep? That happened to me sometimes as well. That is when we are in autopilot mode. We're no longer thinking of what we are going to do. Yeah, we're just following the routine. We just following like, oh yeah, usually I'm doing this, usually I'm doing that. So we just do everything without thinking. Okay. Now, why we do that? Sorry. What make us live in autopilot mode? So this is for types of tasks: the unattractive one or the attractive one, productive or unproductive. Unattractive but productive, that is necessary, like what we do as our living, right? Probably I don't like marking, I don't like preparing, doing lesson planning, but yeah, I have to do it, right? So when it is unattractive but we are productive, it must be necessary. Nah, if it is attractive and we are being productive, then that is the purposeful work. This unattractive, unproductive, like what? Yes, Miss Octavia, I cannot hear you.
It's like scrolling social media.
Scrolling. Are you sure that's not
But
that
yeah,
is
sometimes it can be a productive thing. I think.
No. Are you sure that that is unattractive?
Oh,
Scrolling?
yeah, it's attractive, of course.
It is attractive. That's why we're doing it, right?
Yeah.
What is unattractive and unproductive? It must be something that we think is not necessary, that is not important. Probably we can say like, oh, do we have an answer here? Oh, I thought somebody answering me. Okay. Maybe Bapak Ibu can give me an example of unattractive and unproductive work, which is not necessary. For me, I think cleaning the house or cooking probably. I don't think my work of art in cooking will be classified as good, classified as productive. So yeah, aside from unattractive, it is also not productive for me. So yeah, I prefer to buy because I believe they can cook way better than me. Or attractive but not productive, such as scrolling social media. Yeah, it is a distracting work. Now we're going to see this kind of types of tasks again and again. So which one in which quadrant we want to focus on? Yeah, if we like what we are doing and we can be productive, then that must be a purposeful work. That's what we want, right? And I believe that is also why you are here with me tonight. Now, a lot of people say that there's no limit to our attention, right? There's no limit to our ability to gain knowledge. Yes, true. But the amount of mental capacity that we have to focus to process things is limited. And it allows us to hold, manipulate, and connect information simultaneously. And do you know that our brain received 11 million bits information per second? And just now, I know that aside from listening to me speaking endlessly like this, you also probably looking at other part of your laptop, or you probably while listening, you're also scrolling your social media until your brain catch something that is interesting. So you go back to either my voice or to your social media. Because from that 11 million bits per second of information, our brain can only consciously focus on 40 of them. Yes, 40 is only 40 of them. Out of that, 11 million bits of information per second. So that is the limit of our attention. Yeah. So back then, I also read a research that's saying that multitasking is actually a waste of time. I don't know whether you already you heard about it or not, but female usually we like to multitask. We like to open several things. We like to do a lot of things at the same time. But however, our brain is wired to focus on one task. And that's why later we will discuss further about it. It is better to finish one task before we go and do the next one. Okay. Okay, next we have this attentional space. It is a space and mindfulness, being aware of what you are thinking and what's occupying your mind. Now, let's see ya, Bapak Ibu. Are you giving me your 100% attention? How many of you here is giving your 100% attention? And if you are, you can chat me. If you're really giving me your 100% attention. So probably, Bapak Ibu, you can chat me. You can type in the chat. Okay. Hi, Miss Intan. So only one? Only two with Ibu Octavia. Okay. Are you giving 30% of your attention on your phone? Oh, Pak Salahuddin also giving 100%. Thank you. Now, are you giving 30% to your phone? Or probably are you giving some part of your mind for your planning for tomorrow? What are you going to teach, maybe? Or what to cook for the morning? What to bring for breakfast? Yeah. 50%. Thank you for being honest, Ibu Anastasia. So yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, that's our attentional space. By knowing that I'm not giving 100%, that is already a step, one step closer to what we are going to reach, which is hyperfocus. Because when we are not aware, am I really giving 100%? We thought that we are giving our 100%, but turns out sometimes, yeah, even when it is in the middle of a conversation like this, my mind can drift away and suddenly I feel so sleepy. And when I'm extremely tired, I can even fall asleep, micro sleep. And then I don't know, what did I say? It's no longer, whatever word that I say is no longer comprehensible. I cannot even realize, what did I say just now? Because I'm not giving my 100% attention. And my attentional space probably already overstimulated. Now, this is what happened when we are multitasking. Habit like breathing, eating, driving, once it becomes a habit, yeah, it just takes very small portion of our mind. But listening to audiobook or podcast or read a book or do your task that is needing like a lot of attention so that you will finish it well, or doing a certain project, or me preparing this this presentation. It took me days to finish this. What am I going to say? Which part that is important? So I really put myself and my mind into building this presentation. And that is like, it took the whole part of my attention space. Now, when Bapak Ibu started learned how to walk at a time, I believe you need to think first, although we don't really remember that, yeah. Or when Bapak Ibu start to learn how to drive, right? Everything that we do it consciously. We extremely remember how we are turn the wheel, right? We need to think, is it the go to berapa nih gigi, 1 kah 2 kah? We have to think first. Okay, after this I need to do that. After this one, if I'm going to press the brake, I need to do this one first. You do it consciously. But after a while, once you master it, you're no longer thinking. And sometimes because we can multitask, I even can go to a wrong place that I want to go. So instead of going to A, I ended up in B because it's my habit to go to B. That can happen. That happened to me quite a lot, actually. What am I doing here? Why I'm going here? Because I was multitasking. At the time, it must be my mind is overloaded. Yeah. So that is what happened when we overload our mind. However, it is also important to be able to multitask, yeah, for habit. Have you ever go to a room and then you try to pay attention to your step? That you try consciously trying to walk properly, but you ended up, you walk like a robot because you feel like everyone is looking at me. I have to walk properly. I have to walk elegantly, and it turns out no longer nice. You look like what's this doing? You look weird walking like that. That's because we overthink our walk, which is habit actually, and we're focusing on one thing that we are no longer needing to give a lot of attention to, yeah. Or if you really pay attention on when you eat, you overly pay attention to the way you chew something. I have to count 32 times because my biology teachers say that I have to chew 32 times before I swallow. And it turns out after how many? You chew it for 3 times, you swallow it, and wow, no, this is not good. This is not good. And you repeat that again, which is become I think I keep it in my mouth for too long. It's no longer good, right? That is when you overthink habit, because it is habitual. Habit is really good for multitasking, but before it become a habit, of course, you cannot multitask for that. Otherwise, it won't become, you cannot focus on the task that you want to finish. Okay. Next is complex task. This is the task that enables you to accomplish more. Yeah. Such as reflect on the best approach to completing the task. This is when you try to do, but when you try to do a lot of things, like for example, listening to what I'm saying, but then at the same time, you are looking at whatever your cell phone give you, you're giving up, and this is boring, I don't want to hear about it, and you start to scroll something else, then you lost your ability to reflect. You lost your ability to be able to think of, I think this is better. Oh, I think I can implement this in this situation. Yeah. When we do a complex task, it is occupying like almost the whole circle. And then some part here is the space that you can use to do your habit without thinking. But of course, you still can mind whatever that you do, like eating mindfully, right? Then the space here also enables you to work with greater awareness. It enables you to refocus when your mind is wander away. So when you realize that I still have this space, so when your mind is wandering elsewhere, your mind is thinking about what might happen 2 weeks from now, you can redirect your focus. You realize that, oh yeah, this is not good. This is I'm being taken away from whatever task that I want to finish. Yeah, that's why do not cram our attention. Next is about working with intention. This is our intention. This is the complex task that we want to finish. This is our attentional space. Yeah, it can be bigger than that, or but I believe like more than 50%. If the task is really complicated, then we will need more attentional space, yeah, to do that work. So work with intention as much as possible, especially when we have more to do. What does it mean? We will discuss about it further, yeah. Responding important work with autopilot will only overload our attentional space. So that means we cannot be that productive. And then be more selective with what you allow into your attentional space. I think Ibu Amel really understand what happened to me when I overload myself with a lot of tasks. Yeah, like how many years now? Probably around 2 or 3 years now. I try to focus on one things at a time. Yeah. Although sometimes it is difficult because I know that there's a pressing matter. Everything always seems to be like pressing, like everyone needs their attention, but I choose to, okay, this one maybe I will deal later, but I will get back. So sometimes I answer, give me time. I don't have to think about it. I don't have time to think about it for now, but I will get back to you. I will keep that question, whatever it is, or maybe if she asks me whether or not I can do something, because back then I always say yes to her, which to Ibu Amelia, which turns out I cannot do that because I have two things at the same time, which I've just realized like a couple of days before the day that she wants me to do something, then she will tell me why like that, or I miscalculate the time. That's also happened quite a lot of time. So now, if it's related to date, related to promise to do something, so I will tell her, give me time, let me think first, let me check all my schedule first. Otherwise, it will be chaotic. I will be in autopilot. Okay, so that is working with intention. Sometimes this is what we believe. When we do more tasks, that means we are being productive. But is that true? Because according to the author of this book, Chris Bailey, said that productivity means accomplishing what we intend to do. So that means the intention should be there. What do you want? What do you want to accomplish today? What do you want to finish today? Yeah. So it's not about cramming more into our days, but it's about doing the right thing in each moment. So decide, because life is always full of decision, right? Whether you go to the right or you go to the left, whether you do one thing or you do the other. But anyway, all those things, if it's working, if it's important, then you have to finish. And you cannot do two things at the same time. So try to focus on one thing and do it. Like today, I spent a lot of my time, like probably 80% of my time, to prepare for a class trip, which will happen next month. Well, I know I have 3 piles of book that I need to check. My students' work, I know I haven't checked anything. But suddenly, off, the time is gone. However, yeah, I accomplished something. I finished the task that I should be, that I have to finish for the day, although the other is not finished. I know, and I keep on complaining. I told my friend, yeah, I did nothing today. I did nothing today. I beat myself. I judge myself by saying that, but I know deep down in my heart that I finished something actually, but not checking, not marking, for example, or other work that related to my job, my work as a teacher. So don't be too harsh to ourselves, ya, Bapak Ibu. Why we should not multitask? This is what I said before, yeah. This is when you finish one thing. Have you ever, this, I will explain it differently. Have you ever finished reading a book, or you watch a movie that's really good, that you put your whole attention because you really like the story, you really like the every part of the movie? When the movie is ended, you still think about that movie, or you still think about that book, and you keep on wondering what, why is it end? Is there any other movie coming from this same, probably the sequel, the second one, the third one, the fourth one? That's what we call as attentional residue. That's the same as when you finish on one thing, then you still have that residue. Yeah. And then before the new thing that you try to focus on enter your attentional space, you need to get rid of the residue first. And when you try to multitask, can you imagine? You overwork your brain. You switch from one thing that is not finished yet, and then to another, and then go back again, the residue will be there, adding up, and it's just draining your energy. You cannot focus. You just make yourself tired, and then you ask yourself, "Why finish anything? Why does it took me so long to do this, to do that?" Turns out it's your mind switching from one thing to another. Yeah. I think if I'm not mistaken, it took us a couple of seconds. No, I forget the time that we need to actually switch from one task to another. Yeah, when we are trying to multitask, it's not that easy. That's why we cannot took our phone, took the call when we are driving, because when we focus on the call, we cannot focus on driving, and that is that split second that can create havoc, right? That's become hazardous. Anything can happen. You bump into something, accident happen when during that split second. So when you try to multitask between two important tasks such as driving and taking call. Okay, now how can we tame the distraction, right? Research shows that we switch between tasks every 40 seconds. Can you imagine your brain is trying to find something else to do every 40 seconds? And it takes average, oh, this is what I was talking about. It takes average of 25 minutes to go back to work on whatever things that we are interrupted. And before we can go back to that former task, on average, we do 2.6 other tasks. So for example, like this, I'm preparing this presentation, and then in 40 seconds, I'm trying to focus, then it took me, there's something happened, like a phone call probably, or a friend came to my house, then I greet her first, say hi, until she went home. And I will not directly go back to my work. It will took me 25 minutes to go back to the thing that I'm going to do. And before I go back to my work, I will go first to the to see the refrigerator, get cold water, opening my phone, and then read email like something really important, or you open your social media. Then yeah, you do an average 2.6 other tasks before you realize, oh, I have to finish this. Okay, so I sit and try to work. But why do we love distraction? The brain resists the task, right? Who's here really love to do hard things? Of course, no, yeah. Who's here? Oh, I'm enjoying going to the gym. I like doing sport. I like to jog, right? Ibu Amel really loved to jog. But is that happened the first time she did it? I don't think so. It must be difficult. And as si Bapak Ibu, you probably know that first thing is always the hardest, right? That's why brain resists the task, and brain seek more attractive things to do. That's why we love distraction. Why is it hard to focus on whatever things that we have to, especially because we really feel like we have to do it. It's no longer attractive for us. Yeah. Now, this is types of distraction. If it's annoying and you have no control, the example are office visitor, or if you are in a teacher's room, probably teacher's lounge, you have a very loud colleagues, but you cannot do anything about it. Or You are eating with your friends and they chew really loud like that. Or this is something that is currently happening. Can you just drink your coffee without like that? Yeah, that happens, right? That is annoying for some people, but you have no control because it is outside of you. You cannot do anything about it. Or it can be meetings. Yeah, you have no control. It's annoying. Who likes to go to meeting? I really don't like to sit in a very long meeting. Boring. The information sometimes just repeated again and again. Or, yeah, I already know about this. Why do I have to sit here and listen to this again and again, right? If it's annoying, but you have control, such as emails, it is annoying, but you can wait, right? You can just put it aside first. I don't want to read it now. Or phone alert, like messages or call phone. I don't know who the caller is, so you just leave it there, close your phone, just leave. You have control. Or meeting, if you have control on whether to join a meeting or not joining, yeah, so that is annoying, but you have control about it. Another types of distraction is fun, but you have no control, such as team lunch, right? It is fun, you get to see your friends, but you have no control. Whoever can join the team lunch, right? Or call from your loved one. You are in the middle of busy work, then your wife or your child call you. So that must be it's a signal for you to stop working. You have no control, right? But you know that when you pick up the phone, you'll be happy because the one that call you is the one that you love. Fun, have control. Social media, news, games, yeah. Sometimes I also immerse in games that I have to, once I felt like, I feel like I start to be addicted to that certain game, I will delete the game because that means that is the time when I cannot stop myself. Now, how to deal with this kind of distraction? If it's annoying and no control, there's nothing that you can do because you don't have any control about it, right? You deal with it, then you get back on track. You have to go back to your work. If it's fun and still you have no control, like getting a call from your loved one, just enjoy being there. Enjoy, have a good conversation with friends, right? If you have control, then deal with it ahead of time. How can we do it? We will discuss about it further after this. Managing distraction. Strategize to minimize external distraction, right? How we can do it? You can start by creating a workspace that minimize interruption. Like when I have to work properly, like this evening, I get into my room, I close the door, and then I have to tell my daughter, I will be busy. Otherwise, she will just barge in and do whatever that she wants here with me, like daughter's supposed to be. Yeah. So by preparing myself, telling her that I will be busy tonight, she will not interrupt me. There's we can also manage using technology. There's an app setting to block notification. Yeah. Or if the distraction come from ourselves, so what we can do is mindfulness. That is increasing awareness of our thought. What is our thought right now? Go back again to the checking. Are you giving me your 100% attention? Like what I asked before, you can ask that question. Yeah. Then break and rest, incorporate short break. We will discuss about this. There is a technique. We will discuss further about this, about break and rest further after this. But being mindful, nowadays we hear that we have to be mindful of this, we have to be mindful of that. What does it mean? There is a way that I learned this past month, which is setting an alarm every 1 hour. So whether it is on your phone or your smartwatch, you can set an alarm, and then whenever the alarm goes off, you go back to your mind, you go back, check to your internal thought, what you are currently doing. Or you can also take that time to go back to your breathing. So realize your breath. That is when you learn to practice mindfulness. Yeah, Bapak Ibu. By doing this, you will increase your awareness. Where is your thought at a time? Do you really give your 100% attention to whatever that you are doing at a time? Now, these are the steps to enter hyperfocus. This is a step explained by the author of the book. Choose productive or meaningful, or it should be object of attention or task. So in the morning, we will discuss about it after this right away. Choose what you really want to do, and then eliminate as many external and internal distraction as you can. If you have control, you will be able to eliminate that. And then focus on that chosen object of attention and continue to draw back. Yeah, because you set that 1 hour alarm, so you will remember whenever the alarm goes off, I will go back to my breathing, for example, breathing exercise. So you're going to take a deep breath for and slowly exhale for like 10 times or 20 times. And then after that, you're going back to work, is also will do. Now choose what to focus on. Attention without intention is wasted energy. Take an active role of what you want to choose, yeah, to spend your time and your attention. So there is this thing, rule of 3. Choose 3 things you wish to accomplish for that day. What do you want to do? Of course, you have to teach, right? Because that will be on schedule. But the most difficult thing is not about the teaching, because teaching, you have to go to a certain class at a certain time. There's a schedule about it. But when it comes to lesson planning or making activities, there's no specific time, then you choose 3 things that you wish to accomplish for that day. Or choosing whether you are going to lesson planning or marking your students' work. That is also quite difficult to choose, right? But which one? Then the most consequential task, do it immediately. Yeah. If I'm not doing it, it will backfire, go back to me. I will have to deal with it anyway. And it will be way more difficult than if I'm not doing it now. Yeah, if I'm doing it, do that task now, right away, it will prevent me from having a more severe problem in the near future, for example. Yeah. Or if you put it into healthy lifestyle, probably if you're not start working out today, then the consequences will go back to you in like 3 years, 5 years, and what kind of life that you want to achieve. No one likes to go to the gym. No one likes to do exercise, right? But if you're not doing it now, then in 10 years, will you still be able to eat your favorite food in 10 years or in 5 years? Will you still be able to play with the loved one in 10 years, in 15 years? When you think about that, when you think of the consequences, then you will start choosing a better lifestyle, right? Then this is what I said before, yeah. Hourly awareness chimes, alarm, frequently check what occupies your mind every hour. This is, we discussed about it before, optimize the workspace, declutter to keep your workspace clean, which actually I don't have this. Yeah, decluttering is pretty difficult. Ergonomics, make sure that you have a good chair to sit on so that you're not feeling, aduh, sakit pinggang ya Bapak Ibu. Then minimize distraction, set up a focus mode on your phone, on your laptop. There is a focus mode that can disable any notification. Yeah. Build focus-friendly habit. So like what I said before, once it become a habit, it's getting easier and easier, right? So set a daily schedule, develop consistency because our brain love consistency. And then have a pre-work ritual. Like if I'm doing this, that means I start to focus on my task. Then the next one is Pomodoro technique. I don't know whether Bapak Ibu already know about Pomodoro technique, but I will discuss about it a bit later, yeah. Day routine. So wrap up your day, like at the end of the working day, you start that wrap up your day and thinking of what have you achieved, what have you done today, and by doing that you also planning for the next day. And what if I cannot finish everything that I planned today? Don't be too harsh to yourself, right? If you're being harsh to yourself, you also should be the best cheerleader for yourself. So be nice. If it's not you, who else will be nice to you, right? Don't beat yourself up. Set boundaries. So have a clear boundaries between work and personal life. Yeah. Otherwise, you will be burned out. When it is time for you to work, you work. When it is time for you to go home, you go home. Be present for your family. When it's time for you to work, be present for your company. Don't mix them up. Okay? Dedicated work time. Communicate work hour to minimize interruption. If you really need to work at home, then tell. Like what I said before, I told my daughter, I will having this webinar, then for a certain amount of time, I won't be able to talk to you. So that's a way of communicating as well. Then manage expectations, set realistic. If you can only accomplish one task because it is a big and difficult task, that's all right. Right? Then adjust. If you cannot reach it in one day, so maybe it needs more time for you to do it. Maybe you judge it wrong. Maybe it is more difficult than what you thought. So it's all right. Give your time, yourself time to adjust. Now let's see the challenges. I believe it is not easier to maintain focus. So how we can do it? Pomodoro technique and practice mindfulness. How can we overcome procrastination? Set smaller goal and manage distraction. We already discussed about the distraction before, yeah. Adapting strategies. So, what is it? I don't think this is me. I don't know. This shouldn't be here. I'm sorry. So yeah, adapting strategies. That means you need to think of a strategy to maintain the focus, because we learn a lot of things, right? But how can we how can we know which strategies is the best for us if we are not trying it, right? You have to try it yourself first. Now, about practice mindfulness, you already know that you can set the timer, yeah, and whenever the alarm goes off, you go back. Think of what occupied your mind. Think of your breathing. Think of what you want to achieve. Then set smaller goal. That is also, I cannot say it's easy, but I believe it is doable. Yeah, because when we think of a big task, our mind will resist it. Just last week, a student of mine told me this. Ibu, I cannot do this question. It's only number 1 and I cannot answer it. Why? What happened? Then my student gave me the question, what he can remember. And then the other student also, yeah, it's so difficult. I don't understand this. What is it? It's so complicated. I don't understand. I don't get the word. Then another student chimed in and said, yeah, it's 5 marks. So in their mind, it is 5 marks. It's big. It must be difficult. Because they so used of question with 2 marks, 3 marks, 1 mark. So when they see this is 5 marks, it must be extremely difficult. But when we break it down, you have to find this first. After that, you find this. This is worth 2 marks. This is worth 2 marks. This is worth 1 mark. Oh, that's simple. So that's the real situation of setting small goal. Pomodoro, we're going to discuss. Nah, this is Pomodoro technique. It is also called as tomato. This is a timer. So we set whatever task that we want to do. And then we set timer, usually between 20 to 30 minutes for 1 round, 1 Pomodoro. That is the time when you have to fully focus on your task. Then you work on the task for 25 minutes or 30 minutes, depends on how strong your concentration span is. Then take a short break, 5 to 10 minutes. I think 10 minutes is too long, so just 5 minutes. You can get up, you can move your body, you can go to the restroom, you can fill in your bottle, you can walk around, you can stretch during that 5 minutes. And then you go back and sit and start to work on the new cycle of Pomodoro. So the second part, another 25 minutes. Okay, then after 4 cycle, so 1 Pomodoro, 2 Pomodoro, 25 minutes. So it's like 25, and then break, 25, break, 25, break after, then 25 again. Then you can take a longer break, typically like half an hour. You can have your, if it's at school, then it's similar like recess time, yeah, or lunch time, half an hour to 1 hour. And then after that, you can go back to the new Pomodoro cycle, another 25 minutes, 5 minutes, 25 minutes, 5 minutes. And that is already how many hours? 8 hours probably that you work, but you're not overcramming your mind. You're not pushing your mind to focus and tiring yourself. Because when you break the time like that, you give your brain time to rest as well. Yeah, just like when you start working out, right? When you work out, of course, you cannot just push yourself. Sprinter will be different from marathon, right? Sprinter, you run as fast as you can in a very short period of time. But if you doing marathon, you jog steadily. Yeah. And if you have to rest, yeah, take a rest because your brain needs that. Okay. That will be, this is the educational impact. Teacher can open the door, but you must enter it yourself. So yeah, this is me opening the door for you. So you have to try yourself. And then in the end, you will also open the door for your students so that your students can have a better focus for themselves when they study. And I believe that will increase their capacity as well. Okay, that's it from me. I will give back to Ibu Octavia. Go ahead, Ibu.
Yes, okay. Mrs. Nini, what the very interesting knowledge that we are having this evening. Yeah, for making us focus, yeah, in doing what we are going to do. Okay, let's now go to the next sessions. That is the Q&A sessions, I think. And Bapak Ibu, the participants, you can type your questions if you have it, or maybe you can raise your hand if you want to say it directly to Mrs. Nini, or you're allowed to share your experience related to focus in doing your activity. Be my guest, please, Bapak and Ibu. Oh, from the group, yeah. How to handle the bullying from colleges if we are too focused?
Okay, that's very interesting question, yeah. So that is more to handle bully instead of focus. In which category does the bully falls? That is annoying. Do we have control? No, right? But I believe if you stand for yourself and you just carry on with what you do, the bully will stop, right? We are adult. Do we really have bully? Maybe they just teasing us, yeah, if we are too busy. But it is our task that we have to focus on, right? This is our work that we want to finish. So I think just ignore whatever other people say, right?
Like, don't care about it.
That's true.
Just ignore it. Just let's just focus for being productive, right? Mrs. Nini?
Yeah, that's for us.
Okay. Yes, there's someone is raising her or his hand. I think his hand. Pak Alamsyah. Hello, Pak Alamsyah.
Ya, Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Nah, Ibu, thank you very much for your time. I want to asking you, just now I saw that your slides, yeah, is very interesting for me. The slides before managing distraction, Ibu. Can you show the slide, Ibu? The slide is slide before managing distraction. There is I saw that there is a control and no control. The first the first box is control and the second box is the no control. So I saw that there is can you show
this one?
I forget. I want wait a minute. I didn't see. Not clear.
All right.
Wait a minute. Yeah, control. But there is for item book meeting and there is any meeting book.
Oh, the previous one. Okay.
Yeah.
This one, yeah.
Yeah, control and
Right.
that's right, Ibu. Good. Yeah, it's my question, Ibu. My question, what is there is a no control and there is a control for meeting.
For
My
meeting.
question,
Uh-uh.
yes. My question is, what is different meeting no control and with the control? Because meeting we can handle we can handle the meeting, but I think no control is not is not the meeting, because meeting always the control, Bu. Can you explain to me, Bu, about the
Okay.
no control in the meeting and control in the meeting? Thank you very much, Ibu.
Yeah, thank you, Pak. So like this, I have meeting which I don't have any control. That is, the invitation come from my boss, right? The principal suddenly texted us and said, we're going to have meeting today at 7:30. I have no control. No, I have a plan to do 7:30, but because it seems urgent that my principal need to have meeting, so I have to be there, right? But meeting that I have control is like when other teacher, Bu, can we discuss about this? That is, I have control. Okay.
Okay.
But I'm busy. Can we do it this time instead? So I have the control on setting the time. I have control whether to meet that person today or tomorrow. Something like that. Or probably meeting that is not related to us, not related to us directly. Like the example, what, yeah. this is just recently done. There's a meeting, but when I asked the one who invited me to the meeting, I asked, do I have to be there? Is it a must for me to sit in that meeting? And then when that person say not necessarily, because I will also share the minute meeting, so it's okay if you cannot participate in a meeting, something like that, Pak.
Okay. One more, Bu. No
Yes.
problem. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. The second question is working with intention, Ibu.
Working with intention. Okay.
Yes, this is an interesting point. Yeah. I think, Ibu, can you explain to me, Ibu, maybe to our participant, to all participant too, regarding working with intention, Ibu, how to good solution, Ibu, because every single area working, so many different people, different character, Ibu. So I think we are the human being, Ibu. So how to make what we would call the working with intention with our friends to be easy and relax, Ibu. That's question, Ibu. Thank you.
Yeah. Working with intention. That means we set our intention to finish that work on that particular day. So today, intention is to be focused and
Focus, yeah.
Yeah, to be focused and giving my 100% for this webinar. Or like last weekend, my intention is to be able to finish this presentation and so that I can explain this as clear as possible. Although I cannot finish everything on that day, and as you can see that the last part of the slide, I missed something there, right? That because I cannot finish it on that day, and then after that, my mind is elsewhere. I have other work that I have to do. That is the intention. Now, in this slide, wait, yeah, this choosing here, the rule of 3. Choose 3 things you wish to accomplish. That is our intention. So some people say that having a to-do list is helpful. some other probably
Mhm.
don't like to have that to-do list. But for me personally, having to-do list will help me to focus on what I want to achieve on that day. And then although sometimes I look at my to-do list like I cannot finish anything at all because I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
busy doing other pressing work, right?
Tracking.
That's
Yeah.
still that will do. That is human. So that's okay. We still have that
Mhm.
to-do list for the next day, right?
I
Yeah.
see. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Ibu. And ikan hiu muter-muter. See you later.
See you later,
Assalamualaikum
Pak.
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Yeah. Okay, Pak Alam. Yeah, giving us some refreshment, right? With the
That's true.
Okay, Mrs. Nini, here in the chat room, we have questions. I think from Pak Nowo. Is it also influenced by our age? How about dementia when we are 65 years old? Maybe it's like, is it hard for focusing when the person is too old or something like that?
Okay.
The question?
Dementia, I think it's related to the gene as well, yeah. There's a lot of factor that affecting dementia because my dad is also having dementia and it's getting worse as however probably we still can. I'm not a doctor so I don't think it is in my scope to answer the question, but maybe we can practice so that biar nggak pikun gitu. Right, there must be a certain thing. Things that I remember a friend of mine said. He was teaching expatriate worker. He teach bahasa Indonesia for the expatriate, and then some of his students are very old, like 70, 80 years old already. And then the reason they took the course is because of this, so that they are not getting dementia, to keep the brain on top notch. So keep on studying. Another thing, we want to be focused to teach, but the principal asks us for a meeting. They ask us to give assignment to students. Yeah, that's habit. It depends on the culture of the school. That rarely happen in my school because usually when it is time, when we really have to teach, and then the meeting is only with the principal, then the principal usually understand. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I'm teaching this hour. Okay, I will wait. Then they will, usually the secretary will find a vacant slot for us to meet them, because it will be easier for them to follow our schedule, teaching schedule, than us following them, right? Because we have that rigid schedule. But if the meeting related with parents and it is urgent, so probably we can leave like a couple of minutes, then go back as soon as possible. So I think it's just habit where you work, ya, Bapak Ibu. If it's common to leave your student like that, so it will be quite difficult for you to change that.
It depends on each school's culture, right?
Yeah, that's true. But maybe you can say that, I'm sorry, can you wait probably? I don't know how your principal will take it.
It means that every situations can have different solutions.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, there is no also it's hard. It is hard if you want to be if you want to
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's why you have to minimize
yeah,
the
it
distraction.
happens to me.
Di ruang guru, right? You have to work together. Me, if I want to work, if I want to focus on my work, I will plug in earphone. And maybe I have built this habit, like I don't care what people will say about me, because the one who knows my work, the one who knows that the amount of task that I have to finish is myself, right? It's yourself, Bapak Ibu. So you don't need to really care what other people think about you, because there's also a saying like this: those who really care will not talk. Those who talk usually don't care. So just think about yourself. If it's your work and you know that you have to finish it, just do it. They will understand. I believe they will understand. There will be time for you when you can talk with them. Yeah, building that culture is also quite difficult at start, I believe.
Yeah, that goes back that it depends on which school's culture.
And this is attractive, right? And fun. You have no control, but it is fun.
Yeah, sometimes you need to avoid it, right? If you want to
That's true. They will laugh, right? They will talk with something new news, gossip.
right.
Then you start to be FOMO. Oh my God, what is that? I want to join.
Then we forget what we are going to do.
That's true.
Okay, are there still other questions, Bapak, Ibu participants? This or maybe you want to share your experience related to be focused in what what you do. By the way, Mrs. Lee, I'm curious. May I give questions?
Sure.
Related to Pak Noah's questions about whether it is influenced by age or not, but I'm thinking about the difference of men and women. Yeah, theory said that woman is better in doing a multitask jobs, right?
Let's say that, yes. It's not us, yeah.
Is it because of the job is like a habitual activity that women do? So the multitask, a woman as a multitasker, is not problem
Juggling
for them.
everything, eh?
Yeah. What do you think about it?
I don't know what the reason, yeah, but yeah, I also read that women have the ability, and probably that's also because we are trained to taking care of the children. Like usually it's more than one. We also have to cook. Can you imagine if we cannot multitask? How can we cook, taking care of the children, and then there's a guest coming, right? All the household.
Also replying message from our colleges, right?
That's true. So from ages ago, women work usually needing us to be able to focus on a lot of tasks, while let's say back then the men are hunting. They will focus on that one work, hunt the animal. They're going to bring home food, so they have to focus on that one task. So probably it's also adapted from that from our ancestor.
Okay. Okay. Pak Inara or Inara? Kalian channel. Inara kalian channel is a channel or what? Okay, Bapak Ibu participants. Wait, let me check in YouTube whether there are questions.
Another thing that I learned as well, yeah, how we usually disconnected from ourselves. As simple as that the mindfulness practice. I usually say that I'm very forgetful, but it turns out that's because I'm not being mindful. I'm not thinking when I'm doing things, so that sometimes I forget whether or not I lock my car, whether or not I have the key. But once I really practice mindfulness, like breathing, go back to what I'm thinking, to think again what occupies my mind this time, then I start to feel like, okay, I know what I'm doing. So I'm not as forgetfulness as before. Okay, what is your relate experience according to this book? I don't really understand the question. Gimana ya?
Maybe you have experience related to
Related to the book?
yeah, what
Yeah,
is
yeah.
it's written in the book.
True. I'm going to share the book. Yeah. This is the book. Can you?
I'm interested to buy it and then read it, I think.
Yeah.
Hyperfocus by who is
This
the writer?
Hyperfocus. It consists of 2 parts. So actually, this is the presentation is only about the first part of the book. I'm sorry. First part of the book. We won't be able to have a hyper focus all the time. Yeah, it is also important for us to like jumping from like taking a rest. Otherwise, we will tired ourselves. So it is okay. Experience related to this book. Yeah, I'm trying to implement this, and I have been doing that to-do list. It's a new habit for me. Then to set a certain time where I can work. As for the Pomodoro technique, I already know that for quite some times, and we also in Sekolah Bogor in SBR, we teach our student about this. A friend of mine, the principal, high school principal, is really fond of that technique. And that she always share why she really love doing that Pomodoro technique. And then having to-do list is also her way to make sure things are done. And she always said, yeah, at the end of the day, thinking what you have accomplished on that day is really satisfying, because it gave you that sense of, oh, I did something today. Like it's not you're wasting your day, right? It's not another day wasted, do nothing.
Yeah.
That.
Do the teachers also use the Pomodoro tactic for the students when in the learning process?
In a class situation, well, actually in a class situation is different because everyone accept to concentrate, right? When we teach that, that means it is when they have their personal study time. So we teach that for them to manage their time. If it's a classroom, usually how long does it take for a class? And usually the teacher already set like a specific time, right? This time I'm going to explain, this time is the time for you to do the task. So they although I believe their mind can wander elsewhere, but you will be there to guide them, to drag them back, to focus on the lesson. But if they are working themselves at home, so they can try this Pomodoro so that they have a more productive study time.
Thank you. Okay. Do we have other questions? no here. And no questions to in YouTube.
Okay.
Wait, may I give one more question? I'm teaching in Smakro, and okay, Pak Anton asks, are you a math teacher?
I am, yes.
Okay, so yes, Pak Anton, do you have any questions for Mrs. Nini? Or maybe you want to share your experience. Are you a math teacher, Pak Anton?
Don't give me math question ya, Pak.
Oh, English teacher. Pak Anton is an English teacher. Yeah, let me go back to the question then. Let me see, wait. So let's go to the participant first before to my question. Bu Eti said that, excuse me, miss, taken from the beginning explanation, could you give more examples of unnecessary work? Because for me, there is no unnecessary work or unattractive and unproductive.
Unnecessary. If it's unnecessary, why should you do it, Ibu? Yes, see. That's why. Okay, it is unattractive and unproductive. That's why it's unnecessary. That's why you don't need to do it. Why would you do it? Apa ya unnecessary work, unattractive and unproductive? Let me think.
Maybe every person have different.
Yeah, different perspective, right? It is very personal. Like what I said before, for me, cooking, it's not, or no, I still like to cook, but cleaning the house, for me, that is unattractive and unproductive. I don't like cleaning the house and not wasting my time. I even told my friend, cleaning the house is such a waste of time. So if I can pay somebody to do it for me, I'd rather pay them. Because for me, cleaning the house is not necessary. But I love clean house. Right? But it is, I don't like doing it. And for me, I better use like, let's say 1 hour to read the book or to prepare to make a question for my students or sleep probably. And if I do it myself, I don't think the house will be clean. So, but when my maid who's doing it, I know she will clean the house thoroughly. She even pick up like all the stuff and clean underneath of the small tidbits that I have, which I will just ignore. So that is unnecessary is different, but for other people, probably cleaning the house is one way of relax, right?
Releasing stress.
That's true, but not for me. It's adding stress. It's different from one person to another because yeah, the attractive and unattractive also different, right? So hopefully that answer your question, Ibu.
Oh yeah, and Bapak and Ibu don't forget to fill in the attendance form that it is written in the chat room. Okay, let me go back to my questions, Ms. Nini. I'm just curious, some students complain that they have a lot of work, like abandoned tasks to do, abandoned assignment to do, something like that. Yeah, I think the one that you are delivering right now is really useful for them. Do you have any idea, like, what is the fastest way, okay, to tell them to set their focus?
You can start by having that the Pomodoro technique. And then I also have this important, not important task. Important, pressing, yeah, important, pressing. So that means you have to do it right away. Important but not pressing, you can wait. Not important but pressing. Let's say you need to go to the restroom, but of course you're not going to put it there, right? It looks like it's not important but pressing. Otherwise you ngompol gitu kan. Then not important and not pressing, then you just ignore. So usually I help them by making that spreadsheet with the list with the tick. This task is important and pressing because it's due in 1 day. The due date is tomorrow, so or the due date already passed. There's nothing that I can do. I have to do it right away, right? But if the due date is still like 3 days from now or a week from now, is that really pressing? No, okay, we can wait. But do not wait until it becomes pressing, because what you have to do now is like catching up ke bayar utang ya. You pay the debt first. Once you are debt free, then you will have more free time where you have the luxury to choose which work that you want to focus on. And then that Pomodoro technique will help them to focus on a certain task at a certain time so that they can finish more. Then after that, they can start thinking of, oh, this is the task given by the teacher. This is homework. This is the quiz, upcoming quiz. I'm going to start studying for a next week quiz, like 5 pages a day, or I'm going to do 5 questions a day. That's, they have the liberty, they have the luxury to choose which they want to do. So maybe we can start from there.
Thank you so much, Yasmin. Let me try to get down the mobile. Okay, there's a question from Bakno Ferito. Excuse me, I want to ask you about my students super lazy, and then my question, how to solve problem if the student get like this? If the students are too lazy.
Super lazy. That's pretty strong word, yes, super lazy. There must be a reason why they are disinterested in studying. Maybe you have to have a better relationship first with the student. If everyone like this, if everyone judge the student as naughty, do you think you will come to that student with a good intention in your mind? Because your mind already think that this boy is naughty, this boy is lazy. But if we sit with them, maybe you can try ya. Is it ibu or bapak nih? Oh, bapak. Okay, bapak. Maybe you can try this tomorrow. Sit with the student and then ask, how do you feel about school? Is it difficult? Do you have problem? Do you have friend? What do you want to be when you grow up? Just be their friend. I usually pay more attention to this kind of student because I know it's not easy. But once we get them, it will be easier for us to guide them. Because they don't want to listen us lecturing them. They don't want to they don't want us to tell them what to do. Because we adults rarely ask them, how do they feel? Whether they like the school, whether they like the situation or not. Probably they have problem at home. Probably they cannot solve the question. They don't really understand what the teacher is saying. Maybe they have 1001 tasks that they have to finish at home. Maybe they have a lot of baggage that they carry to school. So yeah, it is us. We are the adult. We don't want, we are not asking them to understand us, but it should be us who understand them. Maybe is that answering the question?
Yeah, does it answer your questions, Pak? Noveriza?
Hopefully ya, Pak.
Yeah, you can give it back to the room chat. Okay, there is a question.
Okay. Kritik ya of Pomodoro technique. It's not interrupting the work, Pak. But because our mind also need to rest. And when we take rest, do not take a rest and take your phone and then scroll. No. That means what we do is distracting ourselves. But if you take a break because you need to go to the restroom, because you need to take water, you need to drink, you need to stretch so that you're being more freshen up like that, then you will be ready for the next round of working. And it's you who knows, right? During that 5 to 10 minutes break, it's not for you to talk to your colleague, not for you to turn on your TV, because your mind will be distracted. You're doing that. We want the residue. You want your mind to be ready to continue the work, right? The residual is still there, so you can go back and focus to the task that you are currently doing. Hopefully that's answered your question, Pak Anton.
Are there any other questions? Bapak and Ibu participant? But it's already 9:20. Right? I think it's time for us to close this webinar. Okay, once more, let me ask you, Bapak and Ibu participants, you still have anything to ask or maybe to share? Okay, so just go straight for closing this webinar. Mrs. Nini, if I can conclude that being focused is a matter of how we set up our priority, right? And also everything should be under our control. Yeah. Would you mind to give a closing statement or something like that, Ms. Nini?
Yeah, it is said that habit is built because you consciously choose to do it, right? So this habit of hyper focus, we can also build it. If we cannot build something in a day, right? So try again, give yourself time, a week, a month, 3 months, then in no time, you will have that habit built within you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mrs. Nini. Yeah, hopefully what you are delivering in this evening will be so beneficial for all of us, okay, to be more productive in what we do, yeah, in our job or in every role that we are having. Okay, thank you so much, Mrs. Nini. And yeah, because the Q&A sessions is over, so it's the time for me to adapt this webinar, and let me give the room back to Pak Solahuddin.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, Bapak dan Ibu, we just wrap on an insightful session on hyperfocus and education strategies for peak performance. Big thank to you, to our speaker, Ms. Nini Budiastuti from IGI Kota Bogor, for sharing her valuable knowledge and practical strategies with us. And also special thanks to our moderator, Ms. Tri Octavia, for guiding the discussion so smoothly. We hope the insight shared today will help you in your journey toward enhancing focus and achieving peak performance in your educational endeavors. I would like also to express gratitude to Stecom University in issuing webinar certificates for our participants. It has been invaluable in helping us to provide high qualified professional development opportunities for all participants. My special gratitude also to our coordinators of TOT Jabar, to our founder Ms. Sari, our crew, Mr. Joko, Ms. Amel, and Mr. Ridwan, for their hard work and support in organizing this event. Your dedication behind the scene has been instrumental in making this webinar a success. Before we close, I would like to remind our participants to kindly fill out the attendance form provided via the Zoom chat link and YouTube. This is a necessary step for the issuance of your certificates, which will be processed within 5 work days. And the link has been pinned in the description of WA group. Please ensure that you provide the correct contact information to receive your certificate promptly. Thank you once again, and we look forward to your continued participation in future event. And let's close this agenda by reciting Hamdalah. Until next time, stay safe and keep learning. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Miss Nani, Miss Tri.
Bye. Good night.